All right.
There it goes. You
All
see
right.
it? Is it recording on your end now?
I see it.
All right, awesome. Long time no see. Haven't talked to you in a long time.
I know. How have you been?
Been pretty all right. Not so bad. Can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm good. I can't complain, I guess. I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, real busy over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to stay busy. We're a biotech company. I own a biotech company, so our funding had came to a halt as well with with the COVID. So we struggled for a little bit, but you know, we're getting back into things. So I mean, they released billions of dollars for biotech companies that were related to COVID.
Yeah.
So we're kind of trying to get some of that money right now. So it's a process because it's so much money.
Right.
The grants are like, you know, millions of dollars. It's not like thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars. So it's just a tedious process, but I'm hopeful. You know, we're not in debt or anything like that. But we were still we're a startup, so we were in the process of our next phase of capital raise.
Mm-hmm.
So during the COVID, you know, when COVID hit, the pandemic hit, you know, a lot of the investors, everyone's holding on to their money, right? So,
yeah.
But we're hanging in there. We're going to be okay. So
that's good news. You kind of rolled into it there pretty good. That's good. But, you know, let's circle back just a little bit and like introduce yourself, you know, give us a little bit of your background.
Okay. And... I'm sorry. I'm just like, well, hey, I just thought it was like a call, like a phone call, you know, I'm like so comfortable with you. Like, hey, how you doing? How you been?
No, that's true.
Okay,
Yeah. But
I apologize.
I do like
go ahead. I'll step back and go ahead and let you start your interview.
Oh, no. It's not even like that. I like for the guests to just run with it. But, you know, I also like for them to know who they're, you know, on my YouTube channel where I get about 40 views per video right now, which I'm working on. I just like for them to know who
I read one of your things and you said that you had like 1,000 views or something like that. And you were like, that was a first for me or some one of your videos got like, videos got a lot of views and you were like really excited about it.
For me, it was a lot of views. It's 1,400 views. It was a movie review I did.
Yeah.
It's a movie review I did.
Congratulations. That is a lot.
For Once Were Warriors that came out in like 1994, I think.
Uh-huh.
And so I did a movie review on that. And yeah, for whatever reason, that one for my channel took off. You know what I mean? I got a lot of comments.
Well, let's beat that. Let's get 1,600 viewers.
Heck yeah, let's do it. I'm ready for it. So go for it. Like, you know, just introduce yourself, give us some of your background, your educational history, things like that.
Okay, well, my name's Josilia Moreno. I'm CEO and one of the founders of a biotech company called Extist Incorporated. We started the company here in Arizona, myself and my business partner. And so we, again, like I said, we're a biotech company, but we specialize in blood medical devices. So, but we specialize in blood diagnostics. We're focused on blood diagnostic devices. And we started that company about 4 years ago. Usually companies like that take up to 10, you know, almost can even take up to 15 years to reach their goal. You know, it takes time with these types of companies, but so my background, let's see, I'm originally from Arizona, from South Phoenix, actually, so born and raised South Phoenix. My dad was a nuclear engineer and a chemist. Yeah, so I grew up around science my entire life, but my generation, you know, I grew up like, you know, if you're pretty, you're supposed to find a husband, get married and have a bunch of kids. And then, I don't know, I guess do that, whatever, you know, and so that was, and I was the youngest of 5. So my older siblings, that's kind of what they did. My older sisters, they got pregnant, got married, yada yada, and I'm like, okay,
Right.
well, I guess this is the way it's supposed to be. And then my mom she pushed me into modeling when I was very young, and my mom was, she was the typical wife, stay home mom, liked to go shopping, liked makeup, liked clothes, and my mom was like girly girl, whatnot. So, um, I guess she put it in my head that, you're pretty, you should be a model, you're supposed to be a model, you're supposed to do girl things. And so I was kind of like steered the wrong way. I don't want to make my mom look bad or whatever, but I mean, like, I'm 42 years old, and that was our generation, like, oh, so that's the path I went to. I got into modeling. And then after that, I kind of fumbled upon a friend of mine. He was a producer, and one of his hosts, he was producing a television show, and one of his hosts didn't show up, and it just so happened to be the night that I showed up to the set, because he was always telling me, Justilia, you have to come check out my show. It's awesome. You should come out one of these nights. So I go out, and then like his host doesn't show. So he asks me to do it. He says, have you ever done? I said, no, I've never done this. And he says, you have a great personality. You're very personable. You have the look. Just if you could do me this one favor. So I did it. I ended up getting in front of the camera, and then I interviewed. I can't even remember. It was so long ago, but it was so long ago. You know how long ago it was? I don't know if you remember Access Radius.
I do, yeah.
You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So that was back then. So it was filmed there, and it was featured on the Travel Channel.
Oh, wow.
It was like one of those destination type deals where they go and they show you around and what the destinations and like the clubs and the restaurants, like the best restaurants and the best clubs and yada, yada, yada. So I did that, and he loved me, and I guess everyone else loved me. So he says, hey, do you want to do this permanently? I'm like, oh my God. So I ended up doing that for a while, and that kind of opened up other doors for me. And then I ended up moving to LA.
Oh, wow.
And I was like really embedded in that industry. Like I moved up really quickly. But after so many years, it was like, I don't know, there was like this void, like I felt like I was just collecting a paycheck. And that industry, that career it was a very lucrative career. I can't complain, but I just wasn't happy. I said, is this how I'm going to go out? I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm climbing. I think I was like, at the time, I think I was like 34. And I said, oh my God, I'm 34 years old. I'm going to be 40, 50, 60. I said, when I pass away, nobody's going to know who I am. Nobody's going to remember me. I'm going to be known as this girl that used to interview celebrities for money. And that's it,
Right.
This pretty girl. And I'm like, what am I contributing to this world? I'm contributing nothing. What am I going to leave to my children? What legacy am I going to leave? What am I going to leave to my children besides my life insurance, my millions of dollars that I have in life insurance, whatever.
Right.
So I'm thinking, I had like a moment where, I got kind of like really sad, and, I'm sure you've had that. I think everybody has that moment, right? Where you look back on your life. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, that happens to me. It still happens to me.
Yeah. And so you want to seek out other things. You venture out, right? Kind of like what you're doing with this, I'm sure,
exactly what this
and
is.
you're doing an amazing job. You're doing really good.
I try. For a rookie that's never done anything like this or has zero training, I'm just giving it a whirl. You know what I mean? Who knows how it'll turn out, but I'm trying.
Well, I think you're doing great. I think you're doing really well.
Thank you.
Because it takes a lot to get in front of the camera. Trust me, I've seen interviews or not interviews, but auditions. I've seen auditions where girls would come in, or guys, and you know, you meet them before the audition and then they go up in front of the camera to audition and it's terrible. Like, oh, this girl's going to do good. And then they get in front of the camera and she like freezes up or something, or it's just not good at all.
Right. It probably helps that I'm just at home, you know what I mean? And I'm not in front of 10, 20 people. That probably helps a lot too.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with personality and character. And if you're, you know, I think you have to possess humility and you have to be humble. You know, you have to see celebrities as just like neighbors, you know, like he's your next door neighbor. He's like, hey buddy, hey Snoop Dogg, what's up? You know, like you have to see them. You can't see them as celebrities. You have to see them as like the guys next door, you know?
Right. Well, you know, so I got to admit this. I mean, you're like the highest profile person I've interviewed so far. And it did make me a little bit nervous. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, you know, that's why I said earlier, we'll see how this goes.
I felt bad. I was thinking about the interview and I said, oh my God, I hope I don't end up taking over because I'm usually the host. I'm usually the person. So I need to. So I'm hoping that you pull, you know, the reins on that if I start talking too much, or I actually become the host of your show. No.
No, it's all right. So, I'll jump in, but you know, like I told you before, I like an organic flow to it. So if it organically means that you're telling some good stories, and we'll roll with it. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So back to what I was discussing about the career. So yeah. So I had that moment where I was looking back at my life, and so I was at I was at the Long Beach Grand Prix, and I was interviewing for a a motorsports magazine. So it was for a motorsports magazine because I was free at that time. By then I had already gone freelance, and so I would just pick up gigs. And so this motorsports magazine asked me to interview a couple of race car drivers that were hosting an event. So this was a nonprofit event for raising money and awareness for children with autism.
Okay.
And so I interviewed one of the race car drivers, and he happened to be he was raising money to treat children with autism. And so we ended up talking after the interview, and he was looking to open a clinic to treat different ailments for neurological, you know, so different like neurological disorders basically. And so I said, well, can your therapy treat learning disabilities? And he says, absolutely. He says, our therapy can help with any sort of neurological disorder, whether it's what is it, a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, or an acquired brain injury. So a traumatic brain injury and acquired brain injury are two separate things.
Right.
So I said, wow, because my daughter at the time she still has a learning disability, but she was getting like all F's in school, you know, and she had A in PE and A in art and music, but you know, math, science, algebra.
Struggling. Yeah.
She was struggling big time, and it was to the point where she was depressed and crying, not eating, not sleeping, not getting up for school. I couldn't get her to go to school. I actually was receiving letters from the state, warning letters that I was going to be, that I could possibly be prosecuted because she missed so many days in school.
Oh, wow.
So, because I couldn't get her to go to school, and it was awful. Like I didn't know what to do. And so I ended up asking him, you know, well, and it just so happened that he lived in Arizona. So he was in Long Beach and he lives in Mesa, Arizona, but he was there for the event. And I said, oh my God, I need your help. You know, my daughter she's been struggling. And he says, okay, yeah, you know, I can help her, yada, yada. So we ended up going to his home where he had this device. And he put the device on my daughter. He ran some scans, some brain scans, and then he began the therapy. So within 3 months, she went from all F's to A's and B's. And it was insane. Like, so so like, yeah, so like within 3 months, and she says, Mom, I think they made a mistake on my report card. She says, I got A's, and she says, I got an A in math and B and C. And I said, oh my God, what's going on? And so then, I spoke to the teachers and they said, no, she's doing really well. And I said, oh my gosh, it's the therapy, so I saw, evidence. I saw proof that this therapy worked. And what it is it's, they put these electrodes on your head and they conduct deep brain stimulation. So because we're all energy, right? We're all electricity. Everything works off electricity and frequencies.
Right.
So he basically just gave her brain like a little jump start. But she's doing really, really well. She's in college. She just finished. She's studying veterinarian science. She just got her first job. Yeah, she's doing really, really well. So I ended up investing in that company. And then he was working out of his home because at the time he was still looking for money, seed capital. And I said, oh my God, you helped my daughter. So now I'm definitely, indebted to you. What can I do to help? And he says, well, I need to raise capital. I need seed funding to start a clinic so we can give this therapy to other kids and other people that need help. And I said, okay, let's do it. I want to be a part of this. So I ended up going back to school and studying neuroscience, and I received certifications to actually give the therapy myself. So I ended up becoming a technician, working hands-on with children. But we ended up opening up the doors to not just autistic kids. We do everything from brain injuries to anything, dementia, Alzheimer's, learning disabilities.
And so you perform the same therapy when it's a brain injury or something else?
It's all the same therapy, but it's different frequencies. We have to find, the right frequency for different ailments. And
is
then
it a painful process for the patient?
Oh, not at all. It's non-invasive. It's amazing. It's an amazing therapy. Like I said, anyone can do it. The thing is that right now a lot of insurances don't cover it because it's such a new technology.
Right.
But it'll become mainstream here really soon, and they'll get the codes for insurance and all that good stuff. So
yeah, that needs to happen. That's crazy. That sounds good. Like it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, we've helped so many people, so many kids, and so I'm actually in the process. So right during COVID, right before COVID hit, I was actually going to start a free clinic to provide the therapy, and I was just going to focus on children with learning disabilities because I feel like this. The dropout rate is at an all-time high. The unemployment rate's at an all-time high. The homeless rate is at an all-time high. But but that's the pattern. You drop out of school, can't get a good job. You get a job, you hate what you're doing because you don't have a degree, you don't have the education because you dropped out of school because you have a learning disability. You feel like you can't learn, you can't do anything. My daughter would have been a victim. She would have been part of that percent, dropping out, working at McDonald's, or who knows what I don't know. She probably would have committed suicide. Who knows? She was so depressed and so sad, and she's like, what's the point? What's the point of going to school? I'm a loser. I'm never going to do anything. I'm not even going to go to college. What am I going to do with my life? And she was little. She was in 6th grade,
Wow.
So, but I'm glad that she got the help. And I know that there are children out there and there's adults out there like that need the help. So my plan, once this whole COVID thing is over, I'm gonna start where I left off, and raise capital to open up a free clinic to offer that therapy for kids with learning disabilities. And I mean, it has to start somewhere, like I said. Let's jump back to what I was just pointing out, but you drop out because you don't either you don't even know what you're learning. You know, what's the point? You're making all these bad grades. You get depressed, you get sad. You're not inspired if you're failing, you know? And so you drop out of school, you end up getting a really crappy job. You're at this job working at some warehouse somewhere, and then you end up getting fired or you quit, and then you can't pay rent anymore, and then you become homeless. You know, that's what happens. So I think that we have to definitely fix the problem at that foundation. And I believe it is at a very small age when the kids are struggling with school, with the learning disability, because they're not capable. They don't have the capabilities as a regular healthy brain, you know. So that's my thing right now, and that's what I'm shooting towards, since I was blessed with so much, you know. I worked hard for it. I didn't, you know, I wasn't born, like I said, I was born in South Phoenix. I didn't have a lot. My parents didn't have a lot, and everything I have, I worked for. You know, never been married. I've never had a husband that could help me. I've never had, like I said, my parents didn't really have a lot of money until later on, you know, as I got older, because my father ended up going back to college. But yeah, we were struggling. Yeah, he became a nuclear engineer later. And then, but yeah, I mean, it was a struggle, but like I said, you know, I want to give back now that I'm in a good place, you know.
So you mentioned how you grew up in South Phoenix. So there's lots of people in South Phoenix that I don't want to sound too mean, but you know, they don't really go a lot of places. They don't aspire to much, kind of stay at a certain level. What made you decide, or what inspired you from a young age? Well, I mean, I know you kind of got into it a little bit earlier, but you know, what really grabbed you and told you, like, hey, I want to get out of South Phoenix and I want to be more. I want to be, you know what I mean?
Well, it's so the moment, okay, so I don't really like talking about it, but there was actually, I had a lot of incidents that happened, because I was right in the middle of everything where my neighborhood was. But I actually got shot. So I got shot in the head, and I lived. Yeah, and you know, I mean,
wow.
I don't know. I got shot in the head and I lived, and that's when I knew I said, that's it. I said, I could have died. I was 15 years old. And
oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah. And I said, holy crap, you know, that life, you know, your life can be taken away from you. And, you know, I believe God spared me. You know, everybody tells me that, my dad and my mom, you know. And when growing up, so I was 15, so growing up, I had a ton of nicknames, you know, we're Mexicano and they always give us nicknames. And one of my nicknames, yeah, so it was, they used to call me Catwoman. And then they were like, well, why do they call you Cat? And I'm like, oh, because they say that I have 9 lives. Well, why do you have 9 lives? They said, well, because so many things have happened to me when I was little. When I was a small girl, I think I was like almost 7 months old. I got ran over by a passenger van, like a full-size passenger van. You know those Mormon assault vehicles, they call them. Should I be saying that? Is that bad? We used to call them Mormon assaut vehicles. Those big long vans.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got ran over by one of those when I was like, I think I was like 7 months old, I think.
Oh
something
my
like
gosh.
That. Yeah.
Wow.
So I got ran over, and then I almost drowned in my parents' backyard. Let's see. And then I got burned really, really bad. We went camping, and I think I was like a year, 2 years old, and I got burned really, really bad in the campground.
Wow.
And then let's see what else. Oh, I got hit when I was, oh, and then when I was 19, I got hit by a semi truck and I
Oh my
died, and
gosh.
they brought me back. Yeah, it was crazy. I got hit by a semi truck, and then my dad told me, he says, just Lilia, you need to, there's some reason why God is keeping you on this earth. And I said, oh, maybe it's just to suffer. I don't know. But
Oh
no,
my
he says you're going
gosh.
to do great
Wow.
things. He told me. My dad says, no, don't think like that. You're supposed to be doing great things. Because I would ask, why am I still alive? Why does God keep sparing me? And I lived through the gunshot when I lived in South Phoenix. And he says, because you're not going to be stuck here in South Phoenix for the rest of your life, like all your friends, you're going to do great things. You're going to do something with your life. That's the universe telling you. Actually, yeah, he would tell me the universe talks to me, but that's the universe, that's God telling you you're going to do great things. And he says, who knows, maybe you're going to cure cancer one day. Maybe you're going to be the first woman president. I said, holy shit. And like, it's crazy because my company, my biotech company, we've had discussions on looking into cancer research.
Wow.
But it's crazy, and everybody always tells me, if you keep going the way you're going and you keep succeeding, maybe one day you can run, be a politician. And I'm like, okay, well, anything's possible. Truly it is. Anything is possible. But yeah, that I think the most major, most significant thing that literally changed my life was when I got shot. I got shot in the head and lived. And I felt the hole, like literally, like my finger, because I went to touch, to see the damage, and my finger went in the hole inside,
Oh
and
my
I could
gosh.
feel it. It was pretty gross, and I
Was it a
fainted.
painful, was it a painful
It
experience?
it was, but I think I was so in shock that it wasn't as bad. It may have yeah, it may have alleviated the pain because I was in such shock. But it felt like, the best way to describe it is that someone had a really hot sledgehammer, like someone had a sledgehammer sitting in coal, and then they came and they hit me over the head with it, because it was burning hot at the same time there was pain because of the impact. So there was impact plus the bullet was hot, that people don't realize that the bullet is so hot, so that's the best way to describe it. But yeah, it was pretty painful. Yeah. But
That is amazing
I
that
was
you survived
15,
these.
I was 15, like that. When you're 15, you're skateboarding and you fall off your skateboard, you get right back up, right? Not like now, it takes you like 10 days to recover from that. But,
It's true.
but yeah, I was young, healthy, vibrant. So I bounced back right away. So
I can't imagine bouncing back right away from that. That is just crazy. Wow.
yeah, that's
Like,
why I'm
you
Wonder
are a strong
Woman.
person, definitely.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
I don't know. How
Thank
did
you
you,
so much.
I mean, from being a small baby getting run over by a van, I mean, that's nuts. I don't know how you survive these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I'm very limber, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But I'm here and I'm
Wow.
doing, and like my dad passed away in 2014. And
Oh, I'm sorry.
so so I'm trying to pursue what he wanted to do. He wanted to do great things. He wanted to change the world. He wanted to do so much to help people. So I'm trying to, fill those shoes for him and keep his visions and his dreams alive. So, but yeah, I mean, that's the best way. I'm blessed with life, I guess. I've been blessed with success and opportunities, and I've been blessed not only with that, but I've been blessed with the personality to take initiative. You know, I've taken initiative. I've gone and when someone tells me no, I say yes. The more you tell me no, the more I'm saying, oh yes, or let's see you, you know, I'll show you, you know. So I was
Right.
blessed with that also, that character or that gift of perseverance and I guess being stubborn or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I've been a single mom since I was 17 years old and never been married, but I'm engaged now. I'm so happy.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
That's awesome.
you. So I'm extremely, extremely excited. I'm very happy. I've never been happier.
When's the wedding?
Yeah, I mean, well, the wedding, I think we set it for January 15th of 2021 because I don't think this COVID thing is going to go away anytime soon. So I think January 15th, 2021 is a good date. But if it doesn't happen, then we'll probably just have a small wedding with just family, you know, because he knows so many people. I know so many people, and you know, I've never been married, so I want it to be a big deal. Like, it's a big deal to me. You know, my dad wanted me to have a big wedding, and not only that, but my dad. Well, before my dad died, he's so funny. He says, "Well, I guess you're gonna die an old maid, and I'm never gonna be able to walk you down the aisle." I'm like, I said, Dad, I'm going to take care of myself. I don't need a man. You should be happy that I can take care of myself. You should be able to be, you can rest in peace knowing that I'm going to be okay, you know?
Right.
So yeah, but I think those were my last words to him. Like, you know, you can rest in peace knowing that you raised a strong little girl and that I'm going to be okay, you know? So,
well,
but go ahead.
Awesome. I apologize. No, that's okay. I'll just take a quick second to, what are you drinking over there? I got my 805 here. Got some Corona going on, huh?
Yep. What is that? 805.
It's a beer. It's pretty.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's pretty delicious. Currently, it's my favorite, so I drink it all the time. It's really good and smooth. I think you might like it. But,
I'm not really a beer person, but I like Corona for some reason. I don't know. I've always drank Corona since I was a teenager. Probably that's the only beer I can drink.
Probably because
and Blue really Moon, light. But Blue Moon's really not really a beer, right?
I don't. Yeah, well, I like Blue Moon though.
Yeah, I like Blue Moon.
I like Blue Moon. But cheers to you. Thank you for joining me on this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So what is your take on the last presidential debate? Did you get a chance to watch that?
You know what? I didn't really get a chance to watch it myself, but I did do a video with a couple of friends of mine that had some serious reactions to it. And I'll just go literally right to the point. One of them, George, hates Donald Trump. And so he just, you know, lashes into him big time. But no, I didn't get a chance to really watch it. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I did, yeah. I watched the presidential debate and I also watched the vice presidential debate. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big political person, but I do believe in voting and I do believe in.
How do you feel? How do you feel about Trump's last 4 years?
I mean, I have no complaints, you know, there really aren't any. That's the thing, is that he's done well, except during COVID. That's all you hear, right? I mean, and you know, I told my fiance, I said, you know, all you hear is COVID this, what does he do, you know? So if COVID never happened, what would they be saying? What would be the rebuttal? What would be the rebuttal if there was no COVID? Because that's basically all they're talking about.
Yeah, that's what they're hanging on right now, definitely.
Yeah, like, it's just COVID. That's all they have on him.
Right.
So, and I guarantee you, me being in the biotech industry, I guarantee you, there's no other president that would have done any better than what he's doing right now. So, you know, I mean, if I were his campaign manager, I would be interviewing people in experts in the industry, saying, you know what, get an expert in biotech, have them represent Donald Trump and say, hey, you know, he's done a great job, and there's no way in hell any other president would have done any better.
Right.
Because it's this virus, it's very foreign, you know, and we're still learning about it. I think it's amazing how fast they got these vaccines done. And again, don't get me wrong, I hate Trump. I cannot stand Trump. But, you know, I mean, I think he's done a really great job. But he's just not a good his character is just terrible. Like, his character is just it's unacceptable.
Very abrasive. Yeah.
It's very unacceptable. And if he loses, he's not going to lose because he's a bad president. He's not going to lose because he's a bad businessman or he's not running the country right. He's going to lose because of his character and his personality. That's why he's going to lose.
Right.
You know, I mean, I haven't heard anybody say that. I'll be the first to say that. You know, and I don't know.
Do you think he's going to lose?
I don't think so. I think he will win. I think he'll win another term. I really do. Wow. I mean, it's scary if Joe Biden wins because he does have dementia, you know, and I don't believe he has a plan. I don't believe Donald Trump has a plan either, as far as COVID, when it comes, you know, when it comes to COVID. And I could tell you a plan right now. Like, I could tell you a plan that would win his presidency, you know. I mean, it's very easy. So hopefully this video does go viral, because maybe President Trump will hear this. No, but so he needs to have a bio reader at every international airport there. And I thought about this idea during Ebola. So that's why I got into the biotech industry, because of Ebola. What happened with Ebola? That was scary.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, why don't they have a test that they can perform a test before anybody comes into the US? Well, it takes too long. Well, you know, if we can get an HIV test turned around, you know, in under an hour, why can't there be, you know, tests for other ailments, for other viruses, for other bacteria, you know? And it's possible. And it's possible. There's companies out there that have created biosensors, bio readers, biochips. You know, it's so easy. You know, my company's done it. You know, you have a bio reader, you know, the biosensor at the airport, and before someone comes into the country, just like when you check in, you show your ID, you show your boarding pass at security checkpoint. They prick your finger, they put it into the bio reader, and as you go into security, you get to your gate. By the time you get to your gate, they can run the data through the cloud. They can run the data through the cloud, and you'll get a text message, and there'll be a red flag that's given to the gate, you know, whoever runs the gate there. And when you try to get on board with your boarding pass, a red flag says, no, that person cannot get on the plane. They tested positive for whatever, you know, Ebola or COVID. You know, we can have a COVID test. You know, they tested positive for COVID. They cannot. And then boom, they quarantine them right there at the airport. It can be done. It's so easy. And that's the plan that Donald Trump that's where he has to put his money towards. Donald Trump has to put money towards biotech. He has to support that. I think that's what's going to help him win, is if he comes up with a plan like that, because that's the only way. That's the only way to prevent because COVID wasn't the first virus. You know, we've had the swine flu, we've had Ebola, we've had what is it? We've had a number of plagues throughout hundreds and hundreds of years. There's always going to be different viruses that are either going to be man-made in the lab, or mutated viruses.
What is it about COVID that's gotten everybody so, I mean, you just mentioned all those other, you know, viruses that came through. What is it about COVID that has made everybody so scared that it legitimately stopped the economy or slowed it down, made everybody stay home, mask up, all that stuff? Why COVID? Why didn't the other ones do that?
Because it spreads so fast, so easily, and it's such a sophisticated virus. It's extremely sophisticated. It's extremely sophisticated virus, and I'm not really sure where it came from. I'm here, you know, being in the industry, you hear all sorts of things. You know, they say that China did make it in a lab, which is possible. They may have done that. And you know, there could be a lot of things that they're suppressing. Like, okay, so Trump, he basically started charging China, you know, what is it with the oh my God, I just had a brain fart with the taxes, you know, the tariffs, you know, he started with the tariffs, and that could have been a reason why China got upset. You know, I mean, it does make sense, right? You know, and then all of a sudden there's this new virus that we've never heard of, and it comes to the US, you know? So I don't know, that's one theory, but again, COVID wasn't the first virus, and it's not going to be the last. So there has to be a plan set in place. And I believe that if President Trump starts focusing on this plan and he invests in this plan, it can be accomplished. There can be protection at every international airport to stop and to regulate these viruses coming into the country. He has to protect the country, and that's one thing that he's really good at, and that I know that's his passion, to protect this country. Our country comes first. But yeah, I believe that's the only plan that's going to work. It's going to be effective. That's the only plan that's going to be effective. And if he doesn't accomplish it in this 4 years, maybe the next president, but at least they're taking the initiative to try and resolve this pandemic, to get rid of it. And I believe that's the only way to do it. But I'm just this little Mexican girl from South Phoenix. I don't know if they'll listen, but who knows? We'll see.
You don't live in South Phoenix anymore.
No, I live in Chandler now. So yeah, but yeah, I've been in Chandler for over 15 years now, so it's nice here. But yeah, I visit South Phoenix very often. I still go back there. You know, my favorite restaurants are still in South Phoenix.
Oh, what's your favorite restaurant?
There's,
in South Phoenix?
I still go down there and buy my piñatas for my kids on their birthday, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
what's your favorite restaurant in South Phoenix?
I want to say El Mesquite, because I have a friend, she owns it. So that was my dad's favorite restaurant. So El Mesquite is one of my favorites. And there's another one, I can't remember it, but my fiance takes me there a lot. My dad used to love going there. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on Central. Oh my gosh.
And Dobbins?
No, it's like it's just south of Southern. No, it's just south of Southern, on Central. Like, it's kind of by the church.
I'm not sure if I know that one.
I can't even remember. But I like going to Guadalajara. Their food is pretty good.
Yeah.
Guadalajara. Yeah, I like Guadalajara. And oh my God, my fiance is gonna be pissed because I forgot the name of the restaurant that we always go to. we used to go there like all the time. And then I started gaining a ton of weight, and I was like, I told him, I said, I can't do this anymore. One time we went like 3 days in a row.
Wow.
And I said, no,
must really like that place.
Yeah, it's really good. They make fresh guacamole. It's really, really, really good.
On Southern and Central, huh? I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah, it's like south of Central. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to text it to you after this.
That's okay.
Call. But it's really good. And
they'll be sad they didn't get the free publicity from it.
What's that?
I said they'll be sad they didn't get the free publicity from the name
I
drop.
know, I feel bad because I love that place. Like it's been open, like it didn't, like it stayed open during COVID, you know. Oh my God, I cannot believe I forgot the name. We go there like all the time.
That's too funny.
Oh, well.
So you mentioned something a little bit ago about doing a prick at the airport to draw some blood.
Mm-hmm.
It just, you know, I listen to a lot of podcasts and different things, and do you feel like there would be a backlash to that? You know how there's all these people that are like conspiracy theorists and things of that nature, people that think that maybe something like that would be infringing on their freedoms. How do you feel about that thought process?
How would it, I don't understand how, I've never heard anybody say that. How would it infringe on their freedom? Like in what way? What do you mean? Like, I don't know.
I'm not one of them conspiracy theorists, but I just know that I've heard that, you know, if they're going to have to be giving up a prick of blood, then now it's all conspiracy stuff. Now their DNA is going to be out there, and if it goes up into the cloud, then all these corporations can grab it. And I mean, just, it's like a big old rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just curious if you had any thoughts on any of that.
Well, they do that now. They do it now. Everybody uses the cloud now. So I don't know the difference. But you know, I mean, like I said, that's the only thing that would work there. You know, if America really wants a solution, you know, you hear every day, all day, everyone's crying, they're upset, they're protesting, they want a solution, they want a resolution. Right. And having their finger pricked and with their information isn't, I don't think it's a violation of any privacy, because they're already giving out their privacy on Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and
I
you
agree.
know, and yeah, and
yeah.
But, and also, I mean, it's just like you got to go through a security checkpoint. I think that it's just part of that. I think it's just part of that process, going through the security checkpoint. You know, I know a lot of people are upset. Well, why do they get to, you know, they get to go through my luggage? It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. It's the, I think if they mandate it, they make it a law that you have to give your blood, or you just can't travel. You know, yeah. You can't travel. That's all there is to it. You know, it's just, I mean, I don't know. I'm totally for that. I don't think that there isn't anything that's violating the privacy at all with pricking your finger. But you know, I don't think your blood is out there. I mean, yeah, I guess your blood is out there, but you know, your blood's out there anyway when you donate blood, or you go to, right. I mean, there's no difference in going to Sonora Quest or LabCorp. They have your blood That's there. True. You know
how people pick and choose different things they want to argue about.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that, yeah, like, yeah, you're right. You know, they get, I think they nitpick. They always want something to complain about. You know, they want to complain, but they don't want a resolution. Or on the other hand, a lot of people are afraid of technology. They're afraid of evolution. But it's going to happen either way. You know, there's a lot of things out there, like, you know, the same thing with the internet. When the internet first came out, nobody wanted email. They're afraid of email.
I remember that. And then the world was going to explode when it went from 1999 and the clock turned to 2000.
2000.
I mean, everything was just going to go crazy. Hey, planes were going to fall out of the sky.
I didn't hear that one. I didn't know the world was going to explode, but I knew something was supposed to happen.
Well, I might be exaggerating, but you know, like everyone was just like, oh, the planes are going to fall out of the sky. People are going to start crashing their cars. You know, like everything's going to go haywire.
Yeah.
And then the clock turned to past midnight and everything was fine.
Yep. I remember that. That was funny. That's so funny.
But
yeah. And you know, the cool thing is that I was actually a slot technician at the casino that night when that happened. Yeah.
Did it mess up the slot machines?
So packed. It was so packed because people literally thought that the slot machines were all going to hit, like, you know, they were all gonna
just gonna
hit the
spit out money.
jackpot or they'll start spitting out millions of dollars, but nothing happened. Nothing. We had people that came in and stayed in overtime because they were afraid. We had extra security at the casino, extra slot technicians and everything, and nothing happened at all. It was just midnight. And then boom, and we're like, well, isn't it midnight in New York right now? So what the hell?
Exactly, that's what I was saying. I'm like, it was midnight 4 hours ago in New York. Like, nothing happened there. What's gonna happen here?
Exactly. Yeah. So that theory just didn't. I didn't buy that one at all.
I didn't either. But I wanted to take the conversation back to you a little bit here. So I don't think you discussed or you mentioned like what your education background is as far as where'd you go to school, you know, things like that.
Well, I went to Grand Canyon University and I studied law. And so when I studied law, I actually, you know, I wanted to be a judge. I said, well, I want to be a judge. And I still see myself as a judge, but I ended up, at that time in parallel, I actually became a reporter. So I was making more money. So at that time I was studying law and then I was interning at a law firm. So I was a legal assistant, and that's when I got into the modeling, and then I got into the TV hosting and reporting. And so I ended up dropping out of college and then just pursuing the career in broadcasting and TV hosting, because I was making just as much money as the attorneys that I was working for. And I said, oh my God, I'm working as a host and I'm getting, and I saw what they were making per case. And I said, oh my God, I'm getting up to, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per interview, you know, depending on the status of the celebrity that you interviewed. That's what you got paid. So yeah, I said, oh my God, then what's the point of pursuing a career in law? And by then I had already had 2 children. I said, I need to be able to support my kids, because my relationship with the father of my children, it was really rocky. So it was never like a solid thing with him. So I knew that I had to be the provider for my children. So I ended up just focusing on that, and then that's when I steered away from school. And I regret not going back. I should have, but I ended up going back to school and studying neuroscience. So, and then hopefully, and I'm thinking about going back to school and getting a degree in bioscience, but it's like, you know, I listened to Elon Musk and he's like, I don't care about your degrees, you know, I care about what your performance and your experience and what you can bring to the table. And I've done more in my life than what people I've known that have degrees. You know, I know people that have degrees that work at Staples or at Office Max or Target, you know, and it's like I know billionaires that have a high school diploma and that's it. I know billionaires with a GED, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, I used to beat myself up about it. I said, I need to go back to school and I need to finish. I need to get, you know, my degree. But it's crazy because every time I want to go back to school and get my degree, I'm pursuing another venture. Like another venture comes up and then I don't have time and then I end up doing that. And I said, well, I'm doing everything that, you know, I'm doing everything that a medical doctor would do, you know. That's like we've helped kids with autism, we've helped kids with learning disabilities. I've literally changed lives.
Yeah.
And it's like, isn't that what people go to college for? Isn't that what people pursue these careers for? Because they want to change people's lives. They want to do things. They want to impact. They want to do their part, you know, and I've done more than my part on this rock, you know, so. But I'm all for education, like all for education. Seriously, like I really am. I do believe that if you want to become an attorney, you have to get your degree. You know, it is necessary. There are careers that it's mandatory that you get those degrees and you get in order to go to law school, you need a certain education. And of course, in order to do surgery, you have to go to school for that. But I'm not a surgeon, and I'm not an attorney. And but I am a woman of science, and I've studied science for the past 6 years, and I shadowed the best scientist in the entire world, which was my father, since I was a very young girl. He's the reason why I got into science. He was the smartest man I've ever met. He's still the smartest man I've ever met. But yeah, I mean, that's where I stand on that. But again, I cannot press the issue enough that education is important. Don't drop out of high school. Don't drop out of college. You definitely need that education.
Right.
So.
Very good.
I'm just really smart. So.
I'll agree with you on that. You're a very smart person.
Thank you.
Who was the biggest celebrity you ever interviewed?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I guess maybe Snoop Dogg, because he was like, everybody knows him. Like, everybody knows him. Yeah, there's no one that doesn't know him. So he may be the biggest. Like, even like my grandma knows Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? And
that's crazy. My parents know who Snoop Dogg is too. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's like everybody knows him. Everybody, no matter white, black, Chinese, Arab, poor, middle class, rich, Mormon, Catholic, everybody knows who Snoop Dogg is. So I want to say he's the biggest celebrity that I got to meet. In fact, I can actually share that interview with you. It's on YouTube, but I took all my interviews down because I don't do that anymore, but right. I can share that with you. Oh, and then Gene Simmons, maybe. I don't know. Does everybody know Kiss? Gene Simmons?
That's a huge star, right? Like he
had his own reality show. So I interviewed Gene Simmons. So I guess Gene Simmons and Snoop Dogg, I guess it's those two. And then I interviewed Michael Phelps when he won the 8 gold medals in Beijing.
Really? That's
I interviewed him. Yeah, I have all those videos, and I have all those video reels. I could share those with you.
So were they actually
I was very, very young, so you might not recognize me.
Were they actually nice people, or were they different behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, Snoop Dogg was very shy. He's very, very quiet and very shy, and it's crazy because he has the same personality as my fiance, and everybody tells my fiance that they remind him of Snoop Dogg because he the way he has like his voice, and I don't know, but they call him like the Mexican Snoop Dogg. But he was very to himself, very shy, very quiet. But once he's in front of the camera and talking, his his celebrity comes out. Because he's a celebrity, you have to have that personality, being vibrant and personal.
So he knows how to turn it on and then turn it
off. Exactly. He knows how to turn it on. And but once the cameras stopped rolling, he was just like sitting there. He was really quiet. I was trying to talk to him, and we were talking, we were conversating, but he was really, really shy. Like at first, it was because we did a bunch of takes. And like he had like his head, like he had his head down. Like it was really cute. It was really funny. It was really funny because you'd think that he's like this I'm not saying that he wasn't confident, but he was just shy. I can't explain it. It was really weird.
Yeah, no, I understand. Wow. What about Gene Simmons? Was he a crazy guy?
Oh my gosh, him was a total opposite. He was so full of himself, so arrogant. And so even in the interview, you'll see it in the interview. He's so full of himself. The Gene Simmons that you see is the Gene Simmons. That's how he is all the time. Just he thinks he's God's gift to women or something. But he's extremely, I want to say this, he's extremely, extremely intelligent. Highly intelligent, he's an intellectual, definitely great businessman. but definitely full of himself for sure. And then I've interviewed like Reba McEntire. I interviewed Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker, he was not. It was nice to meet him. He's one of my favorite actors.
I like Forrest Whitaker's movies. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Who else? Yeah, I've interviewed a lot out in LA as well. I interviewed some of the cast from Jersey Shores.
Really?
Yeah, that was okay. Like I said, what I'm doing now, I can't imagine what I was doing back then. I was like, what the hell am I doing? This is so stupid. Like, I think that was like my breaking point when I interviewed the Jersey Shore cast. I was like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life? You know? But that's like that. So many people, that's like a dream job. They're like, oh my God, you have this dream job. You could just. I'm like, well, I guess that's your dream, but this isn't my dream. You know?
I was just gonna, yeah, that was gonna be my next question. I was just gonna ask you that. It's so interesting that for you, you reached a place that people aspired to back then, but it wasn't for you. Like you felt empty about it.
Yeah.
And chose to go another direction. But I can picture people being like, what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? That's so interesting.
Yeah. It is interesting because I could see myself as being selfish, like, well, gosh, I wish people would kill to be in your shoes. They'd love to make the money you're making and going to the parties you're going to and getting the access that you're getting, hanging out with these celebrities.
I wonder what your life would be like right now if you would have stayed that path.
I've thought about that, and people have asked me that, and I honestly say I would probably either have my own show, or I would be like, I don't know. I know I would definitely be up there. I would, because I was actually offered a job in New York, and I turned it down. So, because I had my children were young, and I didn't want to uproot them. And my parents were devastated. They were like, you can't move to New York, go host a show. And I said, I know, but I'm going to be making a ton of money, And I thought about it, and I said, do I really want to go to New York? And I don't like New York. I've been in New York several times, and I don't really care for that city. I love Arizona, and I'm glad that I'm able to do what I do here in Arizona. And two, what I do, I can also work remotely from anywhere, But because like our lab is in Canada, so but our corporate office is here. We're based here in Arizona. But yeah, I did well. I did really well, and it's, I don't know. It was just, I guess, because maybe it came so easy for me. Getting the gigs, getting that job, getting into that industry. It kind of just fell into my lap. But I did what I think I went as far as I could go there, and then now, I've always had a passion for science. I've always had a passion for science. Always. That was my favorite subject. Like I said, my dad was a scientist. Growing up with him, and and I feel closer to him as well, getting into that and focusing more on that industry.
Yeah.
And also, I can sleep at night knowing that I'm making a difference. I wanted to make a difference. I just don't want to collect a paycheck, and I don't want to be wealthy. I don't want to be wealthy. I want to leave this earth better than it was when I arrived here, and I think that everyone should have that mentality, because we're not here to just, I can't say something without sounding horrible or criticizing, but I guess I'll put it this way. I think everybody has a calling, and everybody has a purpose. And I believe that they need to find that purpose, whether it's the guy that drives the truck that picks up my recycle bin, that's his purpose. But I just believe everybody has a purpose, and it's sad that a lot of people don't find their purpose. you know, and they're not happy, you know. And there's a lot of people that are happy with what they do, you know. Driving a truck makes them happy, you know. Being a bartender for the rest of their lives, I know people that are like 50 years old and they're bartenders and they love it and they're happy, you know.
Yeah.
But no matter what it is that you do, it has to make you happy, you know. It has to make you happy. You have to find your purpose and just go for it, and don't give up. No matter what it is, don't give up. Do what makes you happy, or you're just going to be miserable for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I believe in that. Not that being a realtor, which is what I do full time, is like the greatest thing in the world, but I had a pretty nice career over there at Intel. I was there for 15 years, made, you know, good money, was pretty stable, had several houses. You know, life was going good financially, but I just wasn't happy there. You know what I mean? And so 4 years ago, I decided to make a change. My dad wanted to slap me upside my head. You know, how could you leave a place like Intel and go pursue, you know, your own thing? And being a realtor, it's more like owning your own business. You know what I mean? You don't really work for anybody and things like that. So my dad just couldn't understand it. But you know, there was some big time struggles. I'm not going to say it was like a seamless move financially. I definitely overestimated how hard it would be to go from Intel to realtor, but it's, you know, it's leveled out. You know what I mean? But so I can understand what you're saying, where you got to find something that makes you more happy, something you feel like you should be doing. I didn't want to be sitting over there in a cubicle on my laptop for 10 hours a day for the rest of my life. So I understand what you're saying perfectly.
And if you like interviewing people or you like hosting your own show, you can do that. I mean, you can do that if that's what you want to do. Even if it's just a hobby, at least you're doing what makes you happy. You know?
And this is just a hobby. It's not like I make any money or anything like that off of it. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy getting on here. I enjoy talking to people, and I really have a good time doing these things. So I'm going to continue, even if I only get 25 to 40 views.
Well, you can definitely make a career out of it part-time. You know, you can actually, once this COVID thing is over and they start having live events, you know, you can get an LLC and name your media company, whatever your media company, you know, you want it to be. And then all you do is you go down to the venue where they're going to have a concert, you know, say like that there's like a music festival and Third Eye Blind is going to be there, or Kiss or somebody, whatever. And then you just you email them and you request a media pass to interview them. And then they send you the media pass before the event. And then you show up and you say, hi, you know, I host a show, I have a podcast or whatever it is, you know, and then you just go and you interview them. You write down your questions, and then and it's fun, you know. You get to go and you get to go to a free concert, you get to meet a celebrity and you get to interview them and meet them and take pictures, and then you go on about your way the next day and you sell a house and you make a couple of $1,000s, you know.
I would definitely want them to be an interesting celebrity. Like I wouldn't just want to interview them just because they're a celebrity, you know what I mean? Like I would want there to be an interest there. Like you made Gene Simmons sound very interesting earlier, saying he's an intellectual and things like that. So that would interest me. But just to interview someone just because, you know, I'm not sure how much that would interest me. But yeah, you never know. We'll see where this goes. I'm kind of enjoying this right now, where I get to interview someone like you that's got a story. You're very fascinating. You came from South Phoenix. I didn't know about all these other things that happened to you when you were younger, but now look at where you've reached and achieved in life, and it's very interesting. It's a fascinating story. So
thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a good story. It's a good perseverance story, I guess, you know. And like, I'm a single mom of 3 children, you know, and that's why call me bitter, call me heartless, but you know, a lot of these women, well, I have kids, and no, there's no excuse. I'm living proof there's no excuse. I have 3 children. I did it by myself. I had my son when I was 18 years old. You know, I got pregnant when I was 17. But yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. Don't pull out that single mom card on me. Don't do that, you know, and don't pull that, oh, I didn't come from money, because I didn't either, you know, or it's always something, you know, I have a learning disability or something, you know. It's like, You know,
Well, yeah.
if you really want to do something, you can do it. Like you truly can. You truly can do it.
And like, just like I said about you, you're a Latina, coming from South Phoenix. I mean, that's almost like one of the worst hands as far as the Phoenix area goes. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah, it's
persevered
like
out of
one
that sucker.
struggle on top of another struggle on top of another struggle. It's like, so. But I'm pretty happy. I mean, you know, I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy. So
That's
just
awesome.
this COVID
That's
thing
awesome.
is really getting to me. But yeah, I mean, I hope, you know, I hope with this hopefully we'll see what happens. What is it? When is voting day? November. I don't even know. Was it November 5th?
It's
November
slipping my
5th.
mind as well.
Yeah, so I think it's November 5th. Yeah, so we'll see the new presidency. I mean, I don't know. I don't believe in change when, I mean, I do believe in change, but I'm kind of scared that, you know, this new president will come in and kind of like change things and not really have a plan for COVID, because he doesn't, I don't know, Biden just doesn't seem very smart to me. He doesn't seem like he's a very, I'll just say this. This was my dad saying he's as sharp as a bowling ball. That's how I see it.
My dad used to say that too. That's funny.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, as sharp as a bowling ball.
Sharp as a bowling ball.
But at least, you know, if we're gonna have a president in there, he may be an arrogant, you know, son of a bitch, but at least he's pretty sharp, you know. and again, like I said, you know, if it wasn't for COVID, I think he'd be in a better place. But I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about him, you know. I mean, I really don't, other than the fact that he's a big jerk, but can't really choose personality over intellect, I guess. I believe he's extremely intelligent. So he's just so arrogant and so about himself.
That's true. How are we doing on time over there? You got time to talk about one more thing?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm good.
I just wanted to get into some of your biotech stuff. You know what I mean? You keep mentioning your biotech, you know, company and this and that, but you really haven't gone into what you do there, what your biotech company does, things like that. You want to get into that?
Well, right now I'm serving as CEO, which is nice because I'm, again, you know, back to that whole education thing, right? You know, it's like, okay, well, South Phoenix, single mom, dropped out of college, Latina. I'm a CEO of a biotech company.
Can't remember the restaurant on Southern and Central.
I know, that's so bad. But yeah, I mean, CEO. I'm CEO of a biotech company.
That's awesome.
I've raised in my lifetime, I want to say I've raised over $3 million in funding for companies, just for companies alone. But for this particular company, X-Test, that's the name of this company, X-Test Incorporated. I've raised a little over $500,000 in that, just in seed funding alone. We have a prototype that can analyze blood with one prick. You know, we have a biochip, which is the size of a flash drive. Mm-hmm. I also have a video. I can share that with you.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So it's a biochip. Prick your finger, and then you stick it into a biosensor. That biosensor runs the data with your blood. Obviously, the DNA. You run the DNA. And we have like buffer solutions within the biosensor, and then it sends the information to the cloud, and then it's analyzed, and then you get your results in under 10 minutes. And so,
okay.
But yeah, that's what we're doing right now. And
that's like the airport thing you talked about earlier. That.
Oh yeah, we definitely can implement that technology with, like I said, we can implement that technology at the airports. And with the right funding, it's definitely possible to do it within the time he'll be in his presidency, for sure. We can definitely accomplish that goal. So it'll be revolutionary, and I think that that's definitely something that he needs to be able to provide to the public. But we'll see. I mean,
I may be misremembering, but when I first met you, I remember you saying something about, I think you said something about having a kiosk in places where people could go in and get blood testing done or something like that. Am I
Yeah,
off?
so that's definitely in phase 2. Phase 1 is the biochip and the biosensor in home. So we want to have it in home. So you'd have like a biosensor in your bathroom, and then if you decide that you wanted to test for COVID that day, or HIV or anything, you know, just hypothetically speaking, you went on a date last night, you had a one-night stand, and you want to find out, okay, let's see, you know, you never know,
Did I
things
screw
happen,
up?
right? We're adults, right? You know, you can literally test right there in your own home and get the test results within 10 minutes
Wow.
for any virus or any bacteria or anything like that. So and the reason why I brought that up is because our first protein that we're focusing on is HIV. So we've already proved out that we can run a test for HIV. Today we can run a test for HIV. But
Wow.
we're working on pivoting to COVID. So, but yeah, so we were able to establish a test for HIV.
Wow. And it'll literally give you a result in 10 minutes?
Yes.
For
yes.
HIV?
And then the
Wow.
kiosks, well, that's phase 2 of our project, where you would be able to go to a kiosk at like CVS or Fry's Pharmacy, kind of like when you go and get your blood pressure, you put your arm in the blood pressure cuff and you can sit there and you get your blood pressure done.
Yeah.
So we would have our kiosk right there someplace to where, you know, you can put your credit card in, you'll get a biochip, will get, you know, it'll spit out a biochip, prick your finger, put it back into the kiosk, and then you walk away. And of course it takes it in so nobody can steal it. And then you walk away, and then in 10 minutes, you get the results on your cell phone.
Wow.
So that's for people that can't, that's for people that can't afford a bio reader in their home, or their insurance won't cover the bio reader in their home. They can go to a kiosk to get it done.
Is there already like a cost if someone wanted that in their home? Is there any idea what that would cost?
Yeah, we can do it for about $1,200. $1,200.
Oh, okay.
You'll have a biosensor in your home for $1,200, and the chips, the biochips are really, really inexpensive. So we can get those made for about $2. So
oh wow, that's a lot cheaper than I thought. I thought you were going to be like 25,000 and.
Oh no. Technology is really inexpensive nowadays. It's all plastic. You know, buffer solutions aren't very expensive. But yeah, no, it wouldn't be that expensive. It wouldn't be that expensive at all.
So this is something,
can, you know, and eventually we'd have like, you know, you could finance them, you know, you'd be able to finance them like you do an iPhone or you know, those Galaxy Notes, you know, they're super expensive, but you can finance them monthly.
So this is technology that is coming. You guys will be offering this in the near future?
Yes, it's coming soon. To your medical office. So we're gonna actually, it's gonna be released to medical offices first. So to where you would be able to go to your doctor, and instead of having to go to LabCorp or Quest, you would just actually do everything there when they take your vitals, when the nurse or the medical assistant takes your vitals when you walk in. You know, they take your temperature, they take your blood, they take your weight, they take your blood pressure. Well, they would prick your finger, they'd put it in the biosensor. So by the time the doctor comes back, the doctor would have all your results right there to go over everything. And then if she has to prescribe you medication for whatever the tests, whatever you were tested for, she's able to treat you right there instead of having to go to the lab and wait 3 or 4 days to get the test results back.
Wow. And then how far in the future is it until, you know, the other thing you talked about where it's in your house? How long until that's a viable thing?
Well, that depends on FDA, because to have something in your home, there's so much red tape involved to getting that passed, to getting that approved. Yeah, because you would have it in your home. So So definitely, that's definitely down the line. But I want to say within the next 10 years, it should be available to the public. Like I said, through your medical physician or at home. The kiosks, that's, like I said, that's phase 2. So that's later down the line, because that's definitely a lot of there's a lot of risks in that, because we're taking people's blood and then they're putting it in a machine.
Right.
So hopefully, hopefully we've perfected our technology, by then we'd be able to have a kiosk. Maybe I want to say, like, I give it like 10 years for the kiosks to come out.
Interesting.
So.
Wow. And earlier you mentioned that it works for HIV, but you guys are trying to get it to work for COVID. Is that a difficult?
Yes.
I'm not a science person. How difficult is that sort of thing?
No, it's actually not, because HIV is the most sophisticated virus out there. It's so sophisticated, and that's why we did HIV, because we figured, okay, well, if we can run the experiments and everything, is great, and we're able to test HIV blood, then when we can test for anything, Yeah. So, that's the more complicated virus, that and cancer. So, but yeah, I think it would be easy, especially now that everyone else is running tests for COVID. It's just that the way we're running it's more sophisticated. It's not, we're using less hands-on, you don't have to stick something up your nose. We're testing the DNA and the RNA. We're not testing, we're testing it. Our tests are a lot more sensitive. So we're not testing antibodies, because with antibodies, it's always a little tricky to rely on antibody tests, because everybody's immune system is different. Your immune system can be stronger and mine can be weaker, and we both go and we test for HIV, and well, maybe I should say someone else, but anyway, so it's a bad example, but you test for HIV and I test for HIV, and then you come out negative and I came out positive, and it's like, well, I've only been with this person, right? And but your immunities, so your immune system is a lot stronger, so the HIV is dormant, so it's a lot better to test the DNA opposed to antibodies.
Very fascinating stuff. As far as like cancer, you've mentioned that a few times as well. Is there anything that you guys are going to do on that front?
Yeah, so cancer was one of what we picked. We picked HIV, we picked cancer, we also picked asthma was one of ours, and STD, so STDs, but mainly we wanted to focus on asthma, cancer, and then HIV right now. Those are the 3 that we're focusing on.
Okay.
But cancer, like I said, cancer is a little tricky too. But like I said, anything is possible with research right now, with the technology that we have and the science that's available. Anything's possible. It just takes time and funding. So
it's probably very expensive too, right?
Oh yes, very, very expensive. Very expensive.
Okie
but
dokie.
It's possible. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see, to see where it goes, and maybe, when we talk again, I can update you on everything, on the progress and everything. So.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I'd really like to have another one of these interviews with you. That'd be awesome.
Awesome.
So at the end of every of my videos, I like to give the platform completely to my guest. If there's anything that you want to throw out there, say, go into, feel free, just spit it out there.
I think it's going to sound repetitive because I said that earlier. I think, like I mentioned earlier, you know, don't let anyone bring you down. Don't let anyone ever tell you no. I'm living proof that you could do anything you want. Don't say, just don't say you can't, because you can. Anything's possible. I tell my children that all the time. Don't say you can't, you know.
Yeah. You could go from South Phoenix to CEO of a biotech company with hard work and dedication, right?
Exactly. And I didn't know how to raise capital. You know, I researched, I learned how to talk to people just through experience. I recruited mentors. I have several mentors that I talk to that they give me advice. And, you know, for the single women out there and the men, you know, if you really, really want to start a nonprofit or you want to start your own business, whatever it is that you want to do, just do the research. There's so many programs out there. There's so many agencies out there that can help you. There's like the Phoenix Women's Foundation. There's the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. There's all sorts of resources. There's unlimited resources out there. So just don't say you can't, or don't say it's not possible, or, you know, they're just excuses. Don't give excuses. The resources are out there. You can learn how to do it. It's very easy. You know, if you really want to do something, you can do it. Follow your dreams, follow your passion. Don't give up. You know, don't give up. Don't give up.
That's awesome. I'm so happy that I got you to finally be on my, you know, my little interview show here. It took a few months. Took a few months, but we finally got you in. I'm so excited. Thank you very much. And,
you're very welcome. I'm sorry. I just get so busy and I get, you know, sidetracked, and you know,
no
this COVID thing is really, it's really gotten to me. But, you know, there's, like I said, I'm a single mom. I've got 2 companies that I have to run, and you know, now I have a fiance, and you know, just a lot of things. You know, I'm juggling a lot.
Got to juggle a lot of things now.
I said I made time. I said I'm gonna do this. You know I rescheduled from Monday to today, and then
it's okay.
Give me 30 minutes, but I said I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it.
No worries. I'm very thankful, very appreciative, and we'll do this again, definitely, if you're up for it. But
excellent, absolutely, for sure.
All right. Sure. Well, I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh yeah. One more little cheers. Thank you very much. All right, Josilia. I will see you on the flip side, and we'll talk soon.
That's awesome. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to X-Test. X-Test has a complete diagnostic lab on a chip solution to replace the traditional lab. The proprietary X-Test testing process begins with X-Test's revolutionary chips that extracts and detects all in one. The extraction involves a microneedle that captures the blood and forces it through the inner chambers of the chip. The blood captured and the buffer solution that is released from the blister pack make their way into the initial chamber containing quantum dots that are conjugated to synthetic aptamer to rehydrate them. Aptamers are single RNA or DNA strands that are designed to bind to target sites on organic substances. In the HIV test, it's designed to target P24, TAT, and GP120 of the HIV virus as it is docked to a T cell. The quantum dot aptamer conjugates are dry sealed with biostabilizer to protect against degradation for a shelf life of 24 months, requiring rehydration. Once the sample blood and buffer have rehydrated the quantum dot aptamer conjugate, the next chamber mixes the solution. The result is the HIV virus that is docked to the T cell becoming bound to the aptamer. After mixing, the solution enters the detection chamber. The process between extraction and the mixed sample reaching the detection chamber is 10 minutes. Once the sample of blood has safely been collected into the chip is inserted into the bioreader slot for processing. Affixed inside the bioreader and below the chip slot is a photodetector that's picking up all the photons released in the detection chamber. The quantum dots' special characteristics allow them to be tuned at a wavelength and energy due to their material makeup and size. This stability allows for a baseline reading. UV LED will be utilized to excite the quantum dot. If bound to HIV, the intensity reading will be differentiated due to surface modification of the quantum dot bound to HIV. This differentiation will be detected by the photodetector. If HIV does not bind, then there will be no differentiation and the results will be negative. If it does bind, it's positive. The data is transmitted to the cloud that then transmits the data to the X-Test CLIA lab for final processing. The results are then channeled to the user's mobile application after 10 minutes. For more information, please contact us.